From triggering social media mobs,
Dave Chappelle's jokes were an affront to the manhood of all gay men. What the does that mean? I didn't say anything that would allude to gay men not being men. I know you meant. In fact, what could be manlier than another guy in the ass?
to confronting activists and celebrities.
Oh, this is true. Google it. DaBaby shot and killed a Walmart in North Carolina. Nothing bad happened to his career. Do you see where I'm going with this? In our country, you can shoot and but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings.
Dave Chappelle has repeatedly destroyed the woke crowd with razor-sharp humor, blending truth, satire, and fearless commentary in every special. 1. Response to woke Twitter/social media backlash. And here's where it gets wild. After one of his stand-ups went viral, social media lit up like a firestorm. Tweets poured in, calling his jokes offensive, dangerous, and anti-trans. But instead of apologizing like most celebrities do these days, Dave did the complete opposite. He doubled down.
Dave Chappelle's jokes were an affront to the manhood of all gay men. What the does that mean? I didn't say anything that would allude to gay men not being men. I know you meant. In fact, what could be manlier than another guy in the ass?
On stage, he made it clear he supports everyone's right to live however they choose. "I'm your ally," he said. But then he dropped a line that split the internet.
I would support anybody's right to be whoever they feel like they are inside. I'm your ally in that. However, my question is, to what degree do I have to participate in your self-image? Is it fair that I have to change my whole pronoun game up for this motherfucker? That didn't make sense.
My question is, how much do I have to participate in your self-image? You could feel the crowd hold their breath for a second, then explode into laughter. It wasn't hate, it was honesty. Chappelle was saying what so many people think but are too afraid to say out loud. That respecting someone doesn't mean rewriting your entire vocabulary for them. He didn't mock identity. He mocked the demand for control over everyone else's language. And the more they tried to cancel him, the louder his audience became. What would you have done here? Apologize to stay safe or stand your ground like Dave did? 2. Wealthy drag performer/gay CPR story. But wait, it gets even funnier. Dave tells this story about a night he met a wealthy man in a dress, clearly high on something and surrounded by worried friends. The guy looked awful, like he was about to pass out.
And this man was definitely on drugs. I don't know what kind of drugs he's on, but I knew he had too much. He didn't look good. It's like this, he's like, he looked sick. And all his friends were standing around him, concerned, trying to revive him. I don't know whether it looked like some kind of gay CPR, just fanning and
Dave, being a decent human, walked up and asked,
And I went over there, I said, excuse me, gentlemen, is he okay? And then they looked at me like I was evil. She is fine. I said, fine. Sorry, guys. I was just worried because she looks terrible. She just fell off the bench. Appears that her is popping out of her dress.
"Hey gentlemen, is he okay?" Suddenly, everyone froze. They glared at him like he'd committed some kind of hate crime. One of them snapped, "She is fine." Dave instantly backpedaled. "Oh, sorry, she looks terrible." The crowd roared. It was classic Chappelle. A genuine moment turned into razor-sharp satire. He wasn't being cruel. He was exposing how fragile and performative some woke reactions have become. He was genuinely worried, but instead of gratitude, he got a correction. It was a moment that summed up modern outrage culture perfectly, where even concern gets twisted into offense. 3. Jealousy and the gay community joke. And here's where Dave flips the script again. He looks at the audience and admits something nobody expected.
You guys are confusing the emotions. You think I hate gay people, and what you're really seeing is that I am jealous of gay people. Oh, I'm jealous. I'm not the only black person that feels this way. We blacks, we look at the gay community and we go, God damn it, look how well that movement is going.
I'm jealous of gay people. The crowd laughs, but he's dead serious under the humor. He says the gay movement has moved faster and gained more progress than the black civil rights struggle ever did. Then, in true Chappelle fashion, he spins it into a punchline.
I can't help but feel like if slaves had baby oil and booty shorts, we might have been free 100 years sooner, you know what I mean?
If slaves had baby oil and booty shorts, we might have been free 100 years sooner. It's the kind of joke that only he could get away with. Brutally honest but smartly layered. Beneath the laughs, there's a point about double standards in activism and how certain causes gain support faster than others. He wasn't mocking the LGBTQ+ community. He was questioning why society picks and chooses which struggles deserve empathy. It's that mix of truth and comedy that makes his critics furious and his fans loyal. 4. DaBaby 2021 Controversy Commentary. And then came one of his most talked about bits, the DaBaby controversy. Dave brought it up like a seasoned storyteller, cool and calm, setting the stage.
DaBaby was the #1 streaming artist until about a couple weeks ago. He took a nasty spill on stage and said some wild stuff about the LGBTQ community during a concert in Florida. Now, you know I go hard in the paint, but even I saw that shit, was like, God damn, DaBaby.
DaBaby was the #1 streaming artist in the world, until he said some wild stuff about the LGBTQ community. The audience knew what was coming, but instead of condemning or defending the rapper, Dave zoomed in on the hypocrisy.
Oh, this is true. Google it. DaBaby shot and killed a Walmart in North Carolina. Nothing bad happened to his career. Do you see where I'm going with this? In our country, you can shoot and but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings.
This man shot and killed someone in a Walmart, he said, pausing for effect. And nothing happened to his career, but he hurt a gay person's feelings, and suddenly it's over. The crowd erupted. It wasn't about defending DaBaby. It was about calling out the absurd priorities of outrage culture. In Chappelle's eyes, America had built a system where violence could be forgiven, but jokes or words couldn't. It was a brutal observation disguised as comedy, one that hit harder than any punchline. 5. Rachel Dolezal Roast. Dave Chappelle doesn't let the infamous Rachel Dolezal incident slide without a good roasting. He dives straight into the absurdity of a white woman identifying as black while leading an NAACP chapter. He mocks how Dolezal went all in, tan, curls, and attitude, but never quite sealed the deal.
She didn't even change her name. Didn't even change her name. Her name is Rachel. I can't believe in that name. If you want my support, you're gonna have to change your name to the blackest shit I've ever heard. You're gonna have to change your name to Draymond Green.
Dave quips that if she really wanted to be black, she should have gone all the way and changed her name to something like Draymond Green. The crowd loses it. His delivery nails that fine line between calling out her ridiculous self-delusion and exposing society's obsession with performative identity. Chappelle's punchline hits hard because it's not just a joke. It's a commentary on people adopting identities for clout while avoiding the real struggles tied to them. 6. Comedy's real censorship, us alphabet rule. Dave Chappelle then aims at what he calls the unwritten rules of modern comedy. According to him, comedians can joke about almost anyone except the LGBTQ+ community. He introduces the alphabet rule, explaining how each letter group reacts differently when they feel targeted.
But you see, what I didn't realize at the time and what Kevin had to learn the hard way is we were breaking an unwritten and unspoken rule of show business. And if I say it, you'll know that I'm telling you the truth. The rule is that no matter what you do in your artistic expression, you are never, ever allowed to upset the alphabet people.
Dave notes that his biggest critics come from the same movement that champions tolerance. It's ironic, he says, that people demanding inclusion are quick to exclude anyone who challenges their views. With his trademark wit, Dave compares the situation to walking on eggshells while performing. If you trip, you're canceled. His deeper point lands perfectly. True equality should include equal opportunity to laugh at everyone. It's a masterclass in balancing social commentary with humor, showing how comedy is one of the last spaces where honesty still sneaks through the noise. 7. Lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and trans people breakdown. Chappelle takes this even further with his hilarious LGBTQ car ride metaphor. In his analogy,
My guess is the G's are driving that car. That makes sense to me, because there's white men in the G's. And these people are trying to get around discrimination and oppression. And you know how white dudes are. We know these roads.
the G's, gay men, are driving the car, totally confident and in charge.
Everybody likes the L's, except for the G's. The only thing that breaks the tension between the L's and the G's are the B's in the back seat. That's right, there you go. Everybody scream out when you hear your letter.
And with the G's and L's finished, it was time to take.
The L's, lesbians, are cool passengers, though they sometimes side-eye the G's. Then come the B's, bisexuals.
One thing that the L's and the G's agree on is that the B's are f***ing gross. They seem greedy to the L's and the G's, you know what I mean? They're just sitting in the back seat like, yeah, man, I'll f*** anybody in this car. What's going on, man?
Who, as Dave jokes, are seen by everyone else as greedy and confused about which lane they want to stay in. Finally, there are the T's, the trans community, who everyone respects but also resents because their identity journey makes the ride complicated. It's not just funny, it's insightful. Dave points out the internal tensions and contradictions within the LGBTQ+ umbrella, showing that it's not as unified as it's often portrayed by blending sharp humor with truth. He turns what could have been a divisive topic into one of his most clever and thought-provoking bits. 8. Transgender encounters. Analogy with Jim Carrey. Chappelle remembers another great moment when he recounts an incident including his late friend Norm Macdonald and a meeting with a transgender person. He likens the experience to acting like one is meeting Jim Carrey, in which everything seems slightly wrong, like an actor playing a character.
I wanted to meet Jim Carrey, and I had to pretend this Andy Kaufman all afternoon. And he was clearly Jim Carrey. I could look at him and I could see he was Jim Carrey. Anyway, I say all that to say, that's how trans people make me feel.
Not out of hatred, but rather confusion about what is acceptable any longer, he concedes that occasionally he does not know how to behave among trans people. The audience laughs not because he's making fun of someone, but because he portrays that general discomfort people feel when social norms are always changing. Honesty is where Dave's brilliance resides. He is merely real, not flawless. The analogy with Jim Carrey emphasizes his point. People are behaving tolerantly without really knowing one another. One of those uncommon Chappelle moments when comedy, modesty, and kindness combine flawlessly is this. 9. COVID bar encounter. Gay man confrontation. Dave remembers sitting at a bar during one of his post-pandemic tales when a man without a mask approached him. Dave stiffened initially, convinced the stranger would either begin a brawl or confront him for one of his jokes.
I was in a bar in Austin with my wife, and it was during COVID, and a woman came to our table, and she was maskless, and this came over, no mask, all H words. Hi, how are you? Droplets was coming out of his face. We all covered our drinks. Oh, man, what are you doing?
Then, though, the man's posture and tone showed something unexpected. He was homosexual and trying to flirt. The sudden shift from fear to awkward amusement had the audience roaring. Dave's reaction wasn't disgust. It was confusion mixed with self-awareness.
I ran right over there. I said, I'm pointing right in the camera. I said, "You doing this to me?"
He jokes about how, in today's world, even laughter can get you canceled. So you've got to second-guess everything you say.
Now, you know how I talk. I call everybody a you know what I mean? But that's not a right thing to do if they're gay, you know what I mean? And now I was in trouble. And not only that, the motherfucker was huge. He stood up, he was towering over me. He must have been 6'5", a big white corn-fed Texas homosexual, this nigga ready to fight.
The bit deftly portrays how contemporary social norms have blurred the boundary between humor and insult. What gives it gold is Dave's humility. He is simply pointing out how readily we might misinterpret one another in a society fixated on appearances and outrage rather than mocking anyone. 10. Celebrity commentary / Caitlyn Jenner roast. Chappelle doesn't skip celebrity culture when he brings up Caitlyn Jenner's plan to pose nude for Sports Illustrated.
I had read in the paper that Caitlyn Jenner was contemplating posing nude in an upcoming issue of Sports Illustrated. And I know it's not politically correct to say these things, so I just figured, I'll say it for everybody else. Yuck.
He reacts in the most brutally honest way possible, with a simple yuck. The audience bursts into laughter as he immediately balances it with self-deprecating humor, admitting he's not exactly anyone's idea of a centerfold either. But then he takes it a step further.
So Caitlyn, goddamn it, if you go through with this thing, you better go hard or go home.
Saying if Jenner's going to do it, she should go hard or go home, because half measures don't make history. Behind the laughter, Dave exposes how society obsessively sensationalizes celebrity choices, especially when they tie into identity or gender topics. His humor doesn't attack Caitlyn personally. It skewers the media circus around her. He cleverly reminds everyone that while the headlines preach progress, the public still consumes it all like tabloid entertainment. Dave Chappelle's fearless humor exposes hypocrisy, challenges social norms, and makes the woke crowd squirm, all while keeping the audience laughing. From social media outrage to celebrity roasts, his specials prove comedy is the ultimate tool for revealing uncomfortable truths. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.